Hey guys, welcome back from April break. I hope you all had a chance to step away from the computer screen for a little bit and get outside and do some things that are a little bit more active. I am excited to be back with you. We're going to spend one day here reviewing the concepts that we learned in math prior to going on break. And then starting with tomorrow, we're going to get into some new learning. So some stuff we haven't yet done. But today, again, I'll keep the video short. It's going to be a brief review over the things that we did. And I'm also going to show you how to use Google Slides to complete math because that's something new for you. We'd been using Seesaw prior to this. And Seesaw is great, and we may eventually go back to that. But I do want to give this Google Slide thing a chance. I think it looks kind of promising and might reduce some of the troubles that you guys had using the tools in Seesaw that could be a little bit tricky when you're working on your tablets. So, I mean, not on your tablets, on your Chromebooks, sorry. So let's take a look at that first, actually. Let's go ahead and look at the module 6, measurement and data and graphing review. And that's actually your exact assignment for today. And you'll notice that we're going to have things like picture graphs, we'll have bar graphs, each one has a problem with it. This is a bar graph as well. This is asking like how many pants and shirts were sold together. You have these plots right here where you're going to, what were the 3 most frequent measurements. So that most frequent means happens the most often. So like, for example, this 33 only happened once, whereas this 33 3/4 happened 3 times. So you're going to find those. And then, so there's like, I think 10 of them, maybe 9 of them. And it's all review. It's all stuff that we've done before. So you should be able to move through that pretty quickly and pretty easily. The purpose of this is just to help you understand or help you review the stuff and develop a better understanding that we did before break. I'll go through one really important point here, and that is that in picture graphs especially, you need to look at whatever the picture is and see how many actual things that equals. So in this case, a picture of a tree is the same as 10 actual trees. So if I were to ask you how many oak trees there were, you can't say that there are 4 oak trees. There are 4 pictures of oak trees, but each picture is worth 10. So 10, 20, 30, and 40. So there are 40 oak trees because each picture is worth 10, which we see down here. So that means when you see a half of a picture, that's not a half a tree, it's half of 10. So this would be worth 5. So you'd have, for ash trees, you'd have 1 whole picture, which is 10, half a picture, which is 5, 10 plus 5 would be 15. So that's something to pay attention to when you're doing this sort of work. All right, let me transition here and show you a whiteboard so we can do a little bit of review. And again, I'll keep this brief because you guys had done a wonderful job with this before break. And just give you the basics here. So let's do one of those picture graph problems. I'm not going to draw these perfectly because again, this is just a quick review. So this is a favorite color. We've done a problem like this before. This is number of kids. And I'm going to say that, let's see, call it 1 circle equals 10 kids. Okay, so I have red, I have blue, we'll go with primary colors, and I have yellow. Okay, so I have, again, I know this is a little bit sloppy, but I'm just trying to show you the basics here. So I have 2.5 there, I have 1.5 there, and I have 2 here. So I would say maybe, for example, how many kids were asked altogether, asked their favorite color altogether. And you would then be able to go in here and say, well, each circle is worth 10, so a half circle is worth 5. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60. So 60 kids would be your answer to that one. I could also ask you a question like, let's see, I could ask you, hold on, let me erase all that first. I could say something like, how many more like red than yellow? And then you're just simply finding the difference. So you look at red and you say, well, there's 25 reds. And you'd finding the difference means you're subtracting. So you have a minus sign there. 20 yellow. So you'd say 5 kids. So 5 more kids like red than yellow. So those are the type of questions you're going to get with those picture graphs. Let's clear everything here and show you a very basic bar graph. The bar graph questions are going to look really, really similar to the ones that you see with the picture graphs. The format's just changed. So in the bar graphs, that's when you're going to see things like this. Again, remember, this is very rough drawing here. So I might have asked, what's your favorite ice cream? And this is number of, we'll say I asked teachers this time. I forgot a letter in there. There we go. I kind of combined my H and my C, and my H and my E all became sort of one letter there. So let's say that this is chocolate, mint, chocolate chip, and cookie dough. And I might say that like I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Again, not a perfect graph. I understand that I'm drawing this really roughly. I just want you to get the basic concept. And you could have those same sort of questions, like how many rafts altogether, or maybe in this case you had how many liked chocolate and mint chocolate chip combined. And then you'd have to use your skills of looking over the graph and saying, well, 15 liked mint chocolate chip, so I have 15 plus 20 like chocolate. So 15 plus 20 is 35 teachers like those two. So again, same sort of questions that you're going to get with the picture graphs, but they're going to look, it's going to be set up in bars rather than pictures. So again, we've had a lot of practice with that. I think you guys are pretty comfortable with it. And the last thing I want to show you, because you're going to see it a little bit in here, is something called a histograph or histogram. And it looks like, oh wait, it doesn't look like that. It looks like this. It shows the frequency of things, or the amount things happen. So I might say, let's say people, we could say eye color. Actually, no, I don't want to do eye color. I want to do height. So height. I could say, I don't know, I could say like 48 inches. I'll do 50 inches. Maybe these are like kids in like first grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, maybe 52 inches, 54 inches, and 56 inches. Height in inches. And then so I would have X equals, in this case, 1 kid. So I might have 1 kid that had 56, 2 kids that had 54. Every time I draw an X, that just means 1 kid is that height. Because again, I said 1 kid is the same as 1X. And then you might get a question like, which one happened the most? Well, in this case, the ones that happened the most, there was a tie, 50 inches and 52 inches, both happened 3 times. And when you get something like this, the X's or the shapes or whatever they're showing you here shows you how many times that measurement was made. and then how many times this measurement was made. So you could say how many kids were 56 inches tall, and you say, oh, well, there's only one X there. So, whoops, let's undo that. There's only one kid that was 56 inches tall. Or you might say, what is the most frequent height, or the height that happens the most? And you'd say that's 50 and 52 inches because both of those happen 3 times. There's any number of questions they could ask you. The basic point is when you see something like this, it's showing you the frequency or the number of times that something happens. If you have any questions, guys, I'm happy to answer them. Either send me a note or ask me in our Zoom chat. I can go over it with you individually, or I can set up a time to do another video for you guys. Just let me know if you have any questions. Again, I'm happy we're all back together. Keep working hard, and we're going to make a lot of progress here.